Alright, so good morning and good afternoon and good evening to all of you, no, class. No? Today, I will discuss again one of the topics in the CPA board exam, no, which is the working capital. No? So our focus here is more on the discussion no, about our working capital. Okay? So ano ba class ang ibig sabihin ng ating working capital? So I will put here, let's say white. Okay? So, what do you mean, class, of your working capital? Now, we'll discuss about working capital, no? All right. So, more on working capital management, no? Our focus here is all about working capital management. Okay. So, ano ba, class, ang ibig sabihin ng tinatawag nating working capital? Okay? Sige, let's begin. Okay. Class, pag sinabing working capital, no? So, very important here uh, to discuss first, no? Alright? Yung ating tinatawag na FS analysis, di ba? Okay. Working capital, no? Meaning to say, you have your current assets. Alright? Ano pa? And also, we have our current liability. Okay. Meaning to say, class, no? We need to consider these two, no? Your current assets and at the same time, your current liabilities. Okay. Meaning to say, no? The formula no for this current capital or working capital is that you have your current assets, okay, and you will minus it with your current liabilities, no? Ganun lang class ang formula niya, no? All right? Your current liability, your current assets minus your current liability. Siyempre, gusto mo mas malaki ang inyong current assets, 'di ba? Tama ba? Di ba class? Gusto nyo, mas malaki yung current assets mo with your current liability. Bakit? Ibig sabihin, you are liquid, no? Kung mas malaki yung current assets mo with your current liabilities mo, for sure, you are liquid, no? You are liquid. Siyempre class, very important here to consider the word liquidity. Meaning to say, mas malaki yung assets mo, specifically your current assets mo with your current liability. Pag malaki naman yung current liabilities mo with your current assets mo, anong mangyayari? Ibig sabihin, you are deficit. Ibig sabihin, you cannot be able to pay for your current liability. Yan class ang problem natin, no? So particularly for that. Anyway, sige. So meaning to say, no? In terms of the working capital, no? Very important here to consider first, no? So if you have here your working capital, no? So very important here to consider your current assets, no? Again, if you have here your working capital, very important here to consider first your current assets. Ano nga klase yung current assets? Balikan nyo doon sa discussion nyo sa uh, uh, financial accounting, di ba? Current assets is that it reasonably expected to be realized, no? Ibig sabihin, to be realized in cash. Please take note, ha? To be realized in cash. Okay, kailan daw, no? Or to be consumed during the normal operating cycle. Ibig sabihin, during the normal operating cycle. Ano ba class ang ibig sabihin ng normal operating cycle? Ibig sabihin, yung usual na ginagawa natin, no? If you are doing selling your inventory, ibig sabihin, that would be your normal operating cycle. Or, ano pa? Within 1 year. No? Within 1 year. Please take note, it should be whichever is longer. Diba? Yan, class, yan yung pinaka-basic, no? With your current assets. So, ano class yung mga sample ng ating current assets? Of course, you have your cash, okay? You have your account receivable, you have your marketable securities, your short-term investment, you have your receivables, you have your inventory, diba? And some of the current assets, that your supplies, di ba? Yung ating mga prepaid assets. And that's your current assets. Okay. Next one. Ano naman ang ibig sabihin ng ating current liability, no? What is the what is the meaning of current liabilities, 'di ba? Ang sabi naman, ito daw ay their liquidations or their payment to the use of your current assets, no? Ibig sabihin, payment, no? Payment, or you have your liability, and the payment of this, no, should be within the operating cycle. All right, ano pa? And also within the operating cycle or within 1 year. All right, within 1 year. Ganun na kasi. Same yan sa ating current assets, no? Your current assets and your current liabilities. Kaya lang class, again, whichever is longer. Okay? Also class, as part of your current liability, ano yung mga sample? 'Di ba? Ano yung mga sample class ng ating current liability? So, una, nandyan yung ating accounts payable. 'Di ba? We have here our accounts payable. What else? Yung ating uh, mga notes payable na to be paid within 1 year, yung ating mga accruals, yan yung mga sample ng ating current liability. As long as liabilities of it, the payment of which is within the operating cycle or within 1 year, whichever is longer. Please take note kasi it should be longer, no? Di ba? Wala naman tayo nakikitang accounts payable or account receivable na na long term, no? Lahat 'yan ay short term. Okay. Very good. Next one. So what are also, no, pag sinasabi class na working capital, no? So pag sinasabi class na working capital, all right? So working capital management. So we are talking here now of our financial management, which is your working capital management. So ano naman class yung ibig sabihin ng working capital management, no? Ito daw class ay administration. Okay, please take note ha. It is the administration and control, no? And control, all right, of the companies. All right, please take note ha, of the company's working capital, no? Of the company's working capital. Ibig sabihin, how you manage your working capital, no? Or working capital, no? So, the primary objective of this is that, okay, so what is the primary objective, no? What is the primary objective of the working capital? Of course, class, is that to achieve, no, number one, to achieve, okay, to achieve the balance, all right, to achieve the balance between, okay, between return, all right, and also our risk, between return and kasama yung ating risk. Yan ang objective of the working capital management. Okay, class ha? Yan class ang objective of the working capital management. Okay. Meaning to say, very important here is the policies, no? So what are the working capital financial policies? Very important here to consider. Number one, yung tinatawag nating conservative, no? Conservative or tinatawag natin tong relax policy. So what do you mean class of conservative or relax policy? The operations of which are conducted with, please take note, ito ay too much, alright? Too much of working capital. Ibig sabihin, napakadami nating working capital. Anong tawag doon? Conservative or relaxed policy. Okay? It involves almost all our assets, investment, with a long-term capital. So, ang dami natin, class, no? Advantages, reduces the risk of liquidity and eliminates of it, no? Yan. Again, conservative or relax too much of the working capital. Okay. You have also here number 2, yung tinatawag nating regressive, no? So, what do you mean here of regressive? Alright? Or tinatawag din natin tong restricted policy. So, what do you mean here of regressive or restricted policy? Operations are conducted on a, you have here, minimum, please take note minimum amount of working capital. Kung ang conservative ay madaming working capital, ito naman ay minimum amount of working capital. No? So, ano ginagawa natin, class? In the regressive, uses the short-term liabilities to finance not only temporary but also part of all the permanent current requirements. Okay? In the CPA board exam, class, ito lang naman ay mga definitions of terms, no? Baka lang ibigay, no? It's about the conservative or relaxed, and also about your regressive or restricted policy. Okay? Next one. Very important here is number 3, no? So, ano yung number 3? May tinatawag din tayong matching. Okay? So, what do you mean here of matching policy? Or also known as self-liquidating policy, no? Tinatawag tong self-liquidating policy. Okay? So, self-liquidating policy or tinatawag din tong hedging policy. Okay, ano naman to, class? No? Matching the maturity. So, from the word itself, matching, no? So, you will match, okay? So, matching the maturity, alright? So, matching the maturity, alright, of financing source with, okay, of financing source, alright, financing source with the specific, no? With specific needs. Yan. So, from the word itself, you match, no? Matching or self-liquidating policy, no? Matching the maturity of financing source with the specific needs. And the last one, class, yung tinatawag nating balance, no? So, you have here your balance policy. What do you mean of balance policy? No? There would be balance. From the word itself, there would be balance. The trade-off, alright? So, trade-off between risk, and profitability and profit. Kaya nga, class, yan ay balance, no? In a manner that it is to be consistent, no? Again, it is in the manner to be consistent with our risk. Okay? So, yan ang ibig sabihin ng working capital management, no? So, administration and control of the company's working capital. Our objectives here is to achieve the balance between your capital or between return or profitability and risk. Yan naman yung pinaka-goal natin sa lahat. Diba? Anyway, so we go now to these methods, no? Or what are the management of your working capital. Now, we go first with number 1, no? So, management of the current assets. Number 1 muna tayo. So, yung tinatawag nating management, okay, of your current assets. Okay? So, very important here is the management of your current assets. Ano naman yung management of your current assets? Our objectives here is to determinations of the appropriate mix of your current assets. Okay? But before that, ano ba ang to be considered, no? Ano ba yung mga consideration natin pag sinasabi nating management of your current assets, no? Usually, class, yung walang kamatayang definition, no, of our operating cycle, no? Sorry. yung tinatawag nating operating cycle. No? So, number 1, yung ating operating cycle. Okay? We'll discuss first the meaning of the operating cycle. Okay? So, you have our operating cycle. So, ano ba class ang ibig sabihin ng operating cycle? No? So, what is the operating cycle? Okay. So, operating cycle here is that it is your normal, no? Normal na ginagawa sa company natin, no? The normal operating cycle is that if you are in the manufacturing, if you are in the merchandising, if you are in the service industry, no? Ibig sabihin, you have your cash here, then it will become part of your inventory, 'di ba? Tapos magiging na siyang sales. If you are in the manufacturing, then we have our AR and eventually magiging part of your cash. 'Di ba? Ganun naman yung usual, no? Ibig sabihin, you will begin with cash, then you will purchase inventory, then it will generate sales, then it will become part of your account receivable, and you have collections in terms of cash. Okay. So, ano yung basis talaga ng cash operating cycle? Okay, meaning to say, ito yung normal mo, no, na ginagawa sa company natin. Okay. In the working capital, no? So ano ba yung usual na formula, no? For this. The formula is like this, no? In the operating cycle. Please take note of this, no? The formula here is that your inventory conversion period, all right? Inventory conversion period, and you will add here your AR or account receivable conversion period. Okay. My question, how do we compute for the inventory conversion and at the same time for AR conversion periods? Again, we go to the next slide. Okay? Alright. So, paano ma-compute niyan, class, sir? No? So, again, your operating cycle. Alright. So, how do we compute for the operating cycle? You have here number 1, yung ating inventory conversion period. Alright. Plus, yung ating account receivable conversion period. Okay? Yan. So, yan yung ating formula. Okay. So, in terms naman of the inventory conversion period, ano yung formula natin? Unang-una class, you can compute using your inventory turnover. So, how do we compute for inventory turnover? Diba? Yung ating cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. Diba? Yan yung ating formula. And after that one, how do we compute for inventory conversion period? Diba class? Yan ay 360 days, depende, or 365 days divided by your inventory turnover. Ibig sabihin, ang formula niya ay 360 days, 365 days divided by your inventory turnover. Go back to your, again, class, go back to your FS analysis, di ba? Yan yung formula natin. Alright, go back to your FS analysis. Okay, para at least you can be able to, oo nga pala, I remember this. Okay? How about naman, yung ating AR conversion period? Ano yung una mong gagawin? So, add to class, sorry. Sa baba, hindi itong turnover. But nandito, no? So, inventory conversion period is that depende sa days of the year or depende sa problem, just divide it by the inventory turnover. Okay, plus, ano muna yung AR conversion? Diba, una muna, compute muna for our ARTO. Ano yung ARTO? AR turnover. Ano yung formula class? Net credit sales, diba? Net credit sales divided by yung ating average accounts receivable. Diba? Yan yung formula natin. Okay. How do we compute naman for your AR conversion period, no? Ang formula niya is like this. Depende sa days, 360 man yan, or 365 days man yan. So I will put your days, no? Just divide it by your AR turnover. Ibig sabihin, class, ano yung formula? So what is the formula? Alright? For this, to ano yung formula natin? The formula here is number of days divided by inventory turnover. How about the AR conversion? Number of days divided by AR turnover. Okay. Very good. Meron pa, class, other formula, no? Baka lang or to, ha. Okay? Or to, ha. Or another formula for inventory conversion is that, no, average inventory, no? Please take that. Average inventory. Just divide it by your average cost of goods sold per day. Alright. Yan. Again, na, ito yung isang formula. Okay? Plus, how do you compute for AR conversion? No? Ang formula niya ay like this. Average accounts receivable. Alright? Just divide it by average sales per day. Class, ha? Tandaan to, class, ha? Class, if you notice, yan ay parang number one formula to compute first for the turnover and the conversion. Diba? If you are good in terms of algebra, yan lang naman yung formula niya. Ibig sabihin, yung average inventory divided by average cost of goods sold per day ay parang combination of the inventory turnover and the inventory conversion. Diba? Ganon din naman sa R2. In the AR turnover and the AR conversion period, yung formula mo na average AR divided by average sales per day ay parang combinations of your R2 or AR turnover and also the AR conversion period. Okay? Hopefully, class, ha? Naintindihan ako, class, ha? Okay. So, yan, class, ang formula natin, no? Average inventory divided by average cost of goods sold per day plus your AR. Alright? Average AR divided by average sales per day. Okay? And that would be your operating cycle. Okay? And that would be your operating cycle. Okay. Next one. May isa pa, class. Yung tinatawag nating conversion period, no? Yung tinatawag nating cash conversion period, no? Ano naman ang ibig sabihin ng cash conversion period? Alright, how do we compute or how do we know or how do we or what is the meaning of cash conversion? Ito naman, class, ay same as inventory conversion as discussed kanina. So, inventory conversion period. Okay? You will add your account receivable conversion period. Okay? Pero, class, may bago na. You will minus your accounts payable deferral. Okay. Yan, class, ang other formula. Inventory conversion period, you will add the AR conversion period, and you will minus your AP deferral. Okay. We do it one by one. Ano, class, again, yung formula ng inventory conversion? Unang-una, we compute for our inventory turnover. Okay na nga, okay lang ulit-ulit para at least you can be able to understand, no? So, ano yung formula again? Cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. Alright. And then, after that one, gagawin natin yung inventory conversion period. Ano yung formula again? The formula here is 360 days or 365 days. Just divide it by your inventory turnover. Or, ano nga class yung formula again? Your average inventory. Class, ha? Or yan, ha? divided by average cost of goods sold per day. Again, please take note ha, per day dapat yan because of this, no? Again, ano yung formula ng AR turnover? Or sorry, AR conversion? We go first with the AR turnover. Ano yung formula again? Net credit sales just divide it by your average accounts receivable. How do we compute for AR conversion period? The formula here is like this. 360 days, 365 days. Just divide it by your AR turnover. Or average accounts receivable divided by average net credit sales per day. Di ba? Yan class ang formula natin. Okay. Minus class AP deferral. What is AP deferral? Accounts payable naman to. How do we compute for AP deferral? Ganun din naman. Up to naman to. AP turnover. Class, AP turnover, it is relevant saan? Ito ba ay relevant sa purchase or relevant siya sa cost of sales? Very good. Yan ay relevant sa ating purchase. Kasi class, tayo ay bibili, di ba? Ibig sabihin, very important here is what you call purchase. Okay? Or purchases. Or I will put here net purchase. Okay? Just divide it by your average accounts payable. Then second one, ganun din, AP deferral. So how do we compute for AP deferral? The computation is that 360 or 365 days. Just divide it by up to accounts payable turnover or number of days, no? Average accounts payable. Just divide it by your average. Okay? So you will average purchase or net purchase, average net purchase per day. Okay. So, yan class ang formula natin, no? And that's the formula for our cash conversion period we're in. Inventory conversion period plus your AR conversion period, and you will minus your accounts payable deferral. Okay? Ano yung formula again? Dalawa yan, either or. Number of days, 60 days, divided by your inventory turnover, plus your AR conversion of 360 days, divided by your ARTO, minus number of days, divided by your APTO, or accounts payable turnover, or average inventory, divided by average cost of goods sold per day, plus AR or average AR, divided by average net credit sales per day, you will minus your accounts payable deferral. Okay? O nga pala. So, we put sign, no? 'Di ba? Ito ay plus, ito ay minus, ito ay plus and minus. Again, or to or no? So, depende yan class sa ating problem, no? Okay. So, that's your current assets, no? All right. Next one naman, no? Next one is what you call cash management, no? So, number one, so we are now in number 2, no? Okay? Number 2, very important, yung ating tinatawag na cash management. So, ano naman ang ibig sabihin ng ating tinatawag na cash management, no? Very important here is that it involves, please take it, it involves the maintenance daw, no? So, it involves the maintenance of the appropriate level. Okay? Maintenance of the appropriate level. No? Appropriate level. Okay? The appropriate level of cash. Kaya ang cash, no? And also, sige, and investment in marketable securities. Sir, bakit kasama yung investment in marketable securities? Kasi class, yan ay risk-free. No? It can be converted into cash. Marketable securities. Okay. Ang goal naman natin is that, of course, to maximize our income. No? And at the same time, we have funds. Yan naman yung pinaka-goal ng ating cash management. Okay. So, ano naman class ano naman yung objective ng ating cash management? Alright? Of course, to invest, no? Our objective is to invest excess cash, no? Okay? So, to invest excess cash for a return. Okay? While retaining while retaining sufficient liquidity, no? Sufficient liquidity, no? The word here is that to satisfy the liquidity, no? Okay? Of course, very important here is to the future needs. Okay. So, ano naman class yung mga reasons, no? Reasons why holding cash. Ba't pa tayo makakaroon ng cash, no? So, ano yung mga reasons? Siyempre, number one, para we have a transaction purposes. Ano yung klase yung transaction purposes? Siyempre, that's your day-to-day operations. Kung wala tayong transaction purposes, paano tayo mabubuhay sa company, di ba? Okay? So, maintaining cash balance that they use to conduct your day-to-day operations, di ba? And that's your transaction purposes. Number two, yung tinatawag nating compensating balance, no? Ano naman class yung ibig sabihin ng compensating balance? Okay? A certain amount of cash must live in the checking account at all times, no? Ibig sabihin, we have cash in bank. 'Di ba? We should maintain cash also, no? Sa bangko. Hindi class nakatago lang, no? Yung iba nakatago lang, no? Transaction purpose is for your day-to-day operations. Compensating balance naman ay nasa bangko yung pera natin. Okay? Ano pa? Number three, of course, yung ating precautionary, no? The reason why we have money in the bank because for precautionary reserves. Hindi lang sa bangko but sa inyo, no? Firm holds cash in order to handle unexpected problems like COVID-19, di ba? Kung wala tayong pera, para tayo makakapagbayad sa ating mga empleyado. Okay. Number four, yung tinatawag nating potential investment opportunities, no? Potential investment opportunities. So, very important here is we have enough money para if ever man that we have investment potential, no? And number five, yung tinatawag nating speculations. Meaning to say, the firm delay purchases and store up cash for use to take advantage of a possible changes in the prices or the equipment. Parang hedging to, no? So, class, yan ang reason, no, why we hold our cash. Transaction purposes, for compensating balance, for precautionary reserves, also for the potential investment opportunities and speculations or for our hedging. Right? Okay. Also, class, pag sinabi natin cash management, no? Hindi mawawala dyan, class. Okay? Pag sinabing cash management, hindi mawawala dyan yung tinatawag nating float. Okay? What do you mean of float? No? Okay? Again, hindi mawawala dyan yung float. What is float? Float here is that the difference between the bank balances, okay? The difference between the bank balances All right? For a firm, for a firm's account, ibig sabihin, there would be difference, no? For the firm's account and the balance, no? And the balance that that the firm, okay, that the firm shows in its own stocks. Class, anong ibig sabihin ng float, no? In other words, there would be a delay. Okay. Alright. Kaya ang class, may tinatawag tayong negative float. Okay? We have here what you call negative float and yung asting positive float. But before that, what do you mean of negative float, no? Yung book balance mo daw, okay? Yung book balance mo daw exceeds, ibig sabihin, mas malaki yung book balance mo with our bank balance. Alam niyo kung bakit? Because of number 1, or letter A, yung mail float. So what do you mean of mail float? No? Ibig sabihin, peso amount of customers' payment that have been mailed by customer but not yet received by the seller. Ibig sabihin, there would be delay. No? Hindi pa nakakarating sa'yo. Ibig sabihin, mas malaki talaga yung book mo with the bank. No? And letter boy, we have also here tinatawag nating processing float. No? So what do you mean here of processing float? Peso amount of customer's payment that have yet received by the seller but not yet deposited. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Nasa drawer lang yung cheque, di ba? Nako, tinamad. Tinamad yung empleyado mo na ibigay sa bangko para i-deposit. And that would be your processing float. Pera na yan. Sila sayang. Di ba? Alright. And letter C, yung tinatawag nating clearing float. Kailan ngayon kasi wala nang clearing float, no? Only one day na lang, di ba? Clearing float. Okay? Ngayon class, ito, di na ito nag-ano ngayon kasi one day na lang siya, di ba? Okay. We have also here tinatawag nating positive float. Okay? So, what do you mean naman of positive float? Ito naman class, the bank balance ay baliktad, no? Yung bank balance natin naman ay mas malaki sa ating book balance. Okay, ano ibig sabihin naman nito class, no? Ano yung mga sample, no? Checks written issued by the firm that have not yet been cleared. Okay? So, checks written issued by the firm but hindi pa tayo nakiklear ng bangko. Di ba yan yung mga outstanding checks? Yes. Okay. So, yan class ha, yan yung mga reason why there would be float, there would be delay. Na dapat magkaparehas yung ating book and bank balance. Okay. Ano pa? Very important also class that in terms of your cash management, no? Ito nga, yan natin ito class. Para, okay, so, yan. Para later, lahat blue. Okay. Okay. Next one, no? Alright, next one class, no? Next one also is about your cash management strategies, no? Ano naman class ang ibig sabihin ng cash management strategies? Okay, so what is the meaning of cash management strategies? Okay. Number 1, yung tinatawag nating accelerate cash collections. So, class, nandito yung usual na tanong sa board exam, no? Or sa mga, okay? Accelerate cash collections. Yung tinatawag letter A, kasama dito yung bill our customers promptly. Yes, no? Ibig sabihin, mangungulit tayo na magbayad sila, diba? Or you can offer discount also, no? So you can also here offer discounts for prompt payment. No? Ano pa? Ito class, use of lockbox system. Nandito class ang usual na tanong sa CPA board, no? And also in your exam, no? The lockbox system, customers mails their payments to the post office box, the specific city. Local bank collects the checks from this box and deposit it in the firm's account. O ano class yung pinaka-goal ng lockbox system, no? Siyempre, to reduce float. Ibig sabihin, yung ating company ay makapag-kolekta, no? So, usual class, nandito yung tanong sa exam nyo, no? So, ano class yung usual dito, no? As long as your savings or your benefits will exceed your costs and you will accept this proposal. Pag yan ay hindi, wala, no? Ba't pa tayo magkakaroon ng lockbox system na yan? Okay. Number 2 class, ang gagawin natin ay to control or slow down our disbursement. Ano class ang ibig sabihin ng slow down or control the disbursement? As much as possible class, no? Kung pwede lang, no? We can use or we can pay in our credit terms, no? I-maximize natin ang ating credit terms, no? Yan yan sana yung okay, no? To maximize our credit terms. Ano ibig sabihin? Magbabayad tayo class sa ano? Magbabayad tayo sa credit terms, no? So, class, don't get me wrong ha. Hindi ibig sabihin na hindi tayo magbabayad. Ang gagawin natin, maximize the credit terms, no? Ayan. Okay. And number 3 class, pwede daw number 3 is to reduce muna yung ating reduce the need for precautionary, no? So, kung pwede class, we can reduce the precautionary cash balance. Ibig sabihin class, bawasan muna natin yung emergency for contingency. Pero for me, hindi dapat, no? Mahirap yan class. Okay? Alright. Next one. So, ano pa yung mga tanong dito, no? So, very important class, yung ating tinatawag na cash break-even, no? Okay? Very important also in the cash management, yung tinatawag natin cash break-even point. Class, please take note. Ano nga yung formula natin in our usual break-even point? Di ba ang formula na class in the units ay total fixed cost divided by CM per unit. Di ba? Or break-even point in terms of peso. Ano yung formula class? Total fixed cost divided by your CM CM percentage. Okay. Ito class bago na, no? Class bago na, no? Ibig sabihin, yung ating cash break-even point, no? Ano class ang formula? In terms of units, total fixed cost class, pero babawasan natin yung non-cash transaction. Ibig sabihin, babawasan mo yung mga non-cash transactions na nasa TFC or total fixed cost divided by CM per unit. We have also here yung tinatawag nating cash break-even point in peso, total fixed cost, bawasan mo yung non-cash transaction, just divide it by your CM percentage. But may question, no? Ano ba yung mga non-cash transactions? So, what are your non-cash transactions? Usually, class, yan yung mga depreciation natin. Yan yung ating mga amortization ng ating intangible assets. Bakit class? Di ba sila naman ay walang cash involved? Ha? They have no cash involved, no? Yung ating depreciation and also our amortization. Okay. Also class, under cash management, no? Very important class yung ating BOMOL model. Makinig class ha. So under cash management, very important here yung tinatawag nating BOMOL model. Class, what is BOMOL model? Okay? Class, meaning to say, the BOMOL model, no? You compute for the optimal cash balance. You need to compute for the optimal cash balance under BOMOL model, BAUMOL. Okay. So how do we do or how do we compute for the optimal cash balance using the BOMOL model? It should be square root of 2 to be multiplied by T to be multiplied by D. No? Mamaya, we'll discuss yan. No? Divided by yung ating I. Ano yung I? That would be your interest. No? And that would be your optimal cash balance or OC. No? By the way, what is 2 here is constant. Ha? Okay? 2 here is constant. Ano yung T? T here is the transaction cost. Alright? Transaction cost, which is the amount per transactions, no? Which is the amount per transactions. Okay, ano pa? Ano yung I? I here is the interest rate. Alright, interest rate on the borrowing. And we have also here D. Ano yung D? Total demand, alright, for cash on time. Parang demand time lang yan. Ayan. So, yan class, ang formula ha. 2 to be multiplied by T divided by I. So, 2 is constant, T is transaction cost or amount per transactions, and you have I as interest rate on the borrowing, and D naman is total demand for cash on time. Alright? So far ba clear tayo? Na hopefully you are clear, no? Because you are now going to number 3, which is your management or your marketable securities. Sige. So, ano yung number 3 class? Right? Number 3 is about marketable securities. No? Ano naman class ang usual na tanong in the marketable securities management? So, usually class, marketable securities. Yung goal naman natin dito is that ito kasi class ay liquid no? Kasi ito ay short-term investment, no? So, ibig sabihin class, it is a short-term money market instruments. Okay? And they are easily converted into cash. Automatic class, yan ay cash kaagad, no? Okay. They can be easily converted into cash. So, ano yung mga sample ng marketable securities? Letter A, yung mga government securities, di ba? So, ano yung mga government securities? Alright? You have your treasury bill. Alright? So, you have here your treasury bill. What else? You have also here mga certificate of time deposit or mga CB bills, no? By the Central of the Philippines, no? CB bill or mga certificate of bank or bank certificate. Yan. Okay? So, it represent the indebtedness by the central bank, no? Okay? Ano pa? Letter boy, yung ating mga commercial paper. So, ano to class? Short-term, unsecured, promissory note, issued by the corporation with a very high standing. Okay. So, ano naman class, ang reason, no? Reasons why we hold this one, no? Reasons of holding marketable securities. MSA. Okay? Number one, of course, the MS or the securities serve as substitute for cash. 'Di ba? Sabi sa atin, if we invest it, no, we will earn interest, ha? Alright? And number two, your MS naman, alright, will serve as a temporary investment. Alright? Temporary investment. Okay? That yield return. Again, interest na naman yung ating goal dito, no? And number three, cash is invested in MS to meet, okay? Of course, yung ating cash ay to be invested sa ating MS or securities para magkaroon tayong pagbabayad sa ating financial obligations. Diba? Para siyang tinatawag nating reserves. Yan. Very good. Kaya lang class, in terms naman of marketable securities, very important here to consider risk. Ano yung risk class na usual? Pwedeng malugi yung company, yes. Default risk. Diba? Ano pa? We need to consider interest rate risk. Baka tumaas bigla ang interest rate. Lalo na pag risk yan, no? Yung ating tinatawag na inflation risk. Alright, so we need to know that one also. Okay? So, ganun lang. Of course, risk muna, yung una, no? To consider. Number two, yung marketability. Okay ba na magkaroon tayo ng investment for marketable security? Baka wala na, no? And number three, yung tinatawag nating term to maturity. Yan. Okay? Baka wala naman kasing baka malit lang yung interest, di ba? Yan yung usual. Okay? Yes. Okay. So, we are done na, no? With our marketable securities, no? Alright. Next one naman, yung tinatawag nating account receivable management, no? So, yung tinatawag nating management for accounts receivable, no? So, management of AR. Ano naman class ang kadalasan na tanong sa management of accounts receivable? Sorry, it should be EI, sorry. Of course, ito naman, yung goal natin is pinaka-goal natin class is the collection. Dapat magkaroon tayo ng collection kaagad, no? Formulation and administration of plans and policies related to sales on account and ensuring maintenance of receivable and the collectibility as planned. Okay, so yan naman yung pinaka-objective natin, no? So of course, ang another objective is that to have both optimal, so it's if to have optimal amount of receivables, again optimal amount of receivables outstanding. And ano pa class? Siyempre dapat mababa ang ating bad debts. Anong ibig sabihin nito class? No? Ano ibig sabihin nito? No? Collections na nga, mababa na nga yung collections mo, tapos madami pang hindi nagbabayad. Okay. Yan ang pangit dyan, class, no? Okay. Mababa na ang collections, tapos we have lower or mababa pa yung bad debts. Ano mangyayari sa atin? Wala na, patay tayo dyan, no? Okay. So, ano yung mga factors naman, no? In terms of our account receivable, no? What are the factors? Number one, yung ating credit standards. Bago tayo magpautang, very important, yung credit standards ng ating customers. Ano yung mga credit standards? Walang kamatayang forces, no? Ano yung forces class? Yung character ng papautangin mo, okay ba siya, no? Customers' willingness to pay. Ano yung capacity niya? Baka wala naman siyang pera, no? Customers' ability to generate cash flows. May capital ba siya or collateral? Baka wala siyang sources, no? Ano ba yung conditions niya? Alright. Current economic or business conditions, no? Yan. Number two, we need to consider also your credit terms. Papautangin ba natin siya ng 30 days? Ng 60 days? Ng 90 days? No? Yan. So, cost and benefits of a credit extension policy, no? So, you have your cash discounts, you have your credit and collections costs, we have our bad debt losses, and also our financing costs. Yan. Okay. Class, ano naman yung mga ways, no? So, what are the ways, no? In particular, so what are the ways? So, very important here is the ways. Alright? So, ways of accelerating. Alright? So, ano naman yung mga ways of accelerating, alright, collections of receivable, no? Kanina, class, we have discussed already about lockbox system. Isa rin yun, ha? Alright? So, sa ating ways of accelerating your receivables. Number one, we need to shorten. Alright? Sorry, shorten our credit terms, no? Kung pwede 15 days na lang pautangan mo siya, 15 days, no? Also, we'll offer special discounts to customer. Pwede ganun, ha? Offer special discounts to customers, no? Especially yung willing to pay. Alright? And number three, very important here is to speed up also our mailing time of payment, no? Mailing time of payments. Yan. As much as possible, mas maganda, no? And number four is to minimize our float. Yes. Okay? Minimize our float para at least you can be able to collect on time. Okay. So, that's all, no? For AR, for the AR. Okay? Next one tayo, class. Next one naman, yung tinatawag nating inventory management. Ito naman, class, no? Ano naman yung goal ng inventory management? Okay? What is the goal of the inventory management? Okay. So, again, inventory management. So, ano naman yung goal ng ating inventory management? Siyempre, class, common sense, dapat yung ating inventory ay magiging sales. Hindi yung patulog-tulog yung ating ahente, no? Formulations and administration of plans and policies to meet production and merchandising, of course, to minimize our cost then. And it is to be converted into cash, no? Our objective here is to maintain inventory level, no? And of course, to have a least cost as much as possible. Yeah. Okay. So, ano naman, class, yung mga technique usual, no? O inventory management technique. So, number one, yung ating inventory planning, no? So, yung walang kamatayang inventory planning, alright? So, under inventory planning, nandito yung ating EOQ. Mamaya, I will discuss one by one. EOQ model. Also, we will discuss about reorder point. Alright? And yung ating tinatawag na just in time. Yan. Just in time. Or GIT. Okay? Alright, we have also here yung tinatawag nating inventory control. Ayan. Or inventory control system, inventory planning, inventory control. And also we have our number 3, yung ating modern, ito yung bago ngayon, makabago, no? Our modern inventory management. So, ano class yung mga modern inventory management? Yung tinatawag nating, letter A, MRP. What is MRP? Materials Requirement Planning. Designed to plan and control raw materials used in production. No? We have also here, kung may manufacturing, meron naman tayong manufacturing resources planning. No? Ito class ay materials requirement planning, manufacturing resources planning. Again, materials requirement planning, manufacturing resources planning. A closed loop system that intensifies all the facets of business, no? Including your inventories, production, and sales, no? And yung ating tinatawag na ERP. Ito yung sikat na sa lahat, no? Enterprise Resources Planning. Yan. Okay? Pero I'll focus more on the inventory planning lang, no? So, ano naman class yung mga tinatawag nating inventory, no? Alright, sige. So, unang-una class, yung tinatawag nating economic order quantity. Alright. How do we compute for economic order quantity? Ang formula niya ay same as Baumol model, 2 to be multiplied by our demand or annual demand divided by our ordering costs divided by our carrying costs. Okay. 2 again is constant here. Ano yung D? Demand or annual demand of inventory. Ano yung OC here? That would be your ordering cost, cost of order ha. And C naman is what you call carrying cost. Sige. Ibig sabihin class, in the EOQ, what you are computing here is the optimal level of your inventory at the minimum cost. Yan. Okay. Class, sige, ito pa yung isa sa mga tanong sa board, no? Sa exam nyo pala. If your inventory ay mataas or mababa, anong mangyayari sa ating ordering cost? And also sa ating carrying cost. Again, ordering cost, cost of order to. Carrying cost naman, yan naman yung cost ng internal, no? Storage cost, carrying cost, no? Class, pag mataas ba yung inventory, mag-order ka ba? Malamang hindi. Pag mataas yung inventory, mababa ang ordering cost. Common sense. Carrying cost. Pag mataas ba yung inventory mo, madami ka bang materials handling? Yes. How about mababa naman yung inventory mo? Of course, mataas ang ating ordering. Bakit? Mag-order ka na. Pag mababa to, mababa din naman yung materials handling natin. Ibig sabihin, class, the ordering cost, it vary inversely with your inventory. Inversely na maiba to. No? How about the carrying cost? It vary directly with your inventory. Yan, natandaan class ha? Okay. Ano pa class, no? So, in terms of the EOQ, very important also here, baka lang tanong yan, no? Yung tinatawag nating economic lot size, no? How do we compute for this one? It is the square root of 2 to be multiplied by A to be multiplied by D divided by our K. So, ano naman? 2 is constant ha? Ano yung A? That would be your setup cost. Economic lot size, economic order quantity ha. Ano naman yung D? That would be your annual demand. Okay? Ano naman yung K? Or annual production requirement or annual demand or production. K naman is your carrying cost pa din, no? that would be your carrying cost. Same as sa ating EOQ. No? Baka lang tanongin, class. Okay. Ano pala dito, class? Okay. Very important also, class, yung tinatawag nating reorder point. What is reorder point? No? When to order. When to order. Kailan ba tayo mag-o-order? No? Yan. Our objective here is that to order at a point in time so as not to run out of stock. Yan. So, under this one, no? Reorder point, very important here, yung tinatawag nating lead time. So, what is lead time? Period, alright? Period between the time the order is placed, alright? And receive. Yes, no? We have also here, tinatawag din natin normal usage time or normal time usage or normal time usage, no? How do we compute for this, no? Normal lead time to be multiplied by your average usage, no? Tandaan klasa yung formula, ha? May tinatawag din naman tayong safety stocks. Ano naman to? Maximum lead, okay, time minus our normal time. Just multiply it by average usage. And, okay? Reorder point if there's no safety stock. Okay? So, reorder point if there's no safety stock, of course, that would be your normal lead time. No? So, how about naman if there is a, paano class kung meron tayong lead time? No? So, reorder point. So, again, what if class you have reorder point if there is no safety stock? Paano yon? Alright? Ibig sabihin, yung ating requirement, yung ating required ay yung ating normal lead time. Again, ano class yung normal lead time? That's the time wherein you order your goods until na dumating yan, no? Normal lead time usage. What if naman class is that there is a reorder point if there is safety stock. Okay, ano yung required niya class? Kung meron tayong tinatawag na safety stock. Okay? So, class, the formula here is that safety stock, tandaan na, safety stock plus your normal lead time, alright, usage, okay, or maximum lead time, alright, just multiply it by the average usage. Alright, so yan na class, ha. So yan yung mga tanong, no, specifically sa ating inventory. Okay. We go now to the last one, no. So very important also yung ating pinakahuli, no. Ano naman yung pinakahuli class, no? So specifically for that. Alright? The last one, okay, yung about financing transactions. Alright, so very important here is about your financing transactions, no? Ano naman class ang tanong about sa financing decisions? Usually class, ang tanong dito, Usually class, yung formula lang, no, ng ating cost of trade credit, no? Specifically, yung ating opportunity cost of not taking the discount. Ito lang class yung aking i-discuss, ha, of not taking the discounts. Ano class yung formula nito, no? Ang formula niya ay ganito lang class, no? Discount percentage or discount percentage divided by 100% minus discount percentage to be multiplied by number of days, which is depende, no? Pwede 365 or 365 days, no? Net period, okay? Minus our discount period, no? Yan lang class ang usual na tanong dito, no? Opportunity cost of not taking the discount, no? Okay, we have also here some of the problems, no, about cost of bank loans, no? So usually class, ang tanong dito is that yung mga regular interest rates natin, the interest of the borrowed or the discount, no? So maybe that's the only one, no, nakasama, no? Is about in terms of financing, no? Yung opportunity cost of not taking the discounts. So again, thank you very much, no, for this, and this will end our discussion, no, about working capital management. So again, thank you and see you all. Bye bye.